Yo, what's up, guys? I hope you're all good. Today is the 11th of May, meaning it's the first full week of prep, and I figured I would take you guys through a full day of eating, push session, and what this prep's going to basically mean for me. And I want to say a big shout out to Leon because this is our third prep together, and he's literally took me from an 18-year-old that didn't know anything about bodybuilding. Like, oh, I wanted to be like a little psalm goblin. Like, I was like, I want to hop on, da da da. But through his guidance, he's like kind of guided me through bodybuilding to have a really good understanding of like what it is I want from it and all that. So can't thank him enough. He's took me from an 18-year-old amateur to now we're looking to do our pro debut. So eternally grateful. But yeah, so full day of eating. Right now, my macros, I think I'm on around 210 protein, 400 and something grams of carbs, and like 60 something fats. And it rounds up to about 3,100 ish calories. And literally last year, I was on around 3,000 the whole time and dropped fat perfectly well. So it should be very smooth. And I'm very grateful. The heavier you get, like it always sounds crazy when you say your macros or I say my calories, and it's like, damn, it's so high. But it's like the heavier you get, the more food you can like get away with eating. But as always, to start, today's album of the day is It's Been Awful by Isaiah Rashad. Let's go. All right, so here is meal one: 2 eggs, half a red bell pepper, omega-3 fish oils, curcumin, vitamin D3 and K2 for sups. And then alongside that, I got 60 grams of oats, 35 grams of whey, and 50 grams of berries. And yeah, that's for meal one. Gonna eat this, go on a walk, and then get into meal two and three. All right, so I'm about halfway through my walk right now. I aim to get around 5 to 7K steps done before I head home, shower, train, and everything. But I figured I'd sit here on this bench and just talk through this prep kind of thing and like what I'm looking at. As of yesterday, it would have been 12 weeks out from the Canada Natural Pro Show. And the way it works for the natural side of the IPB, if you win or place top two in a pro show, you qualify for what's known as the Ben Readers. And if you win the Ben Readers Pro, you qualify for the Olympia. And obviously, that's the highest standard of bodybuilding, full stop. And I feel like being able to achieve that, especially naturally and documenting it all for you guys, it satisfies me on two folds. Like one, realistically, being a natural guy on that stage, you're not gonna actually do anything unless you're, oh shit, what the fuck, the fuck. What was that? Where was that? Oh yeah, a natural guy on that stage, unless you're Keon Pearson in like 2021 or whatever, you're not gonna really do much. But I feel like my, bodybuilding for me is more about building this gold standard physique rather than the placings. Like I'm not as too worried about like trying to be like the most successful bodybuilder in the world. It's more about the physique that I can look back on in like 34 years and be like, yeah, I did that. So I feel like being able to be on that highest pinnacle of stage with my best physique I can bring at 22, 23 is something I'm always going to remember the rest of my life. And also being able to bring you guys along and show you guys that like this shit is possible. If you're someone that's like it's sometimes good to set like unrealistic, outlandish goals. You know, I'm going to be on the Olympics and do it. You know, like it's possible. There's a route. There's avenues. So that's the goal for this one. If you've been following me as well for this like whole off season, you'd notice that around like I want to say February, I kind of went a little bit AFK in terms of posting like training. Especially, I was just posting like leg days and like back days, and that's because I injured my pec. I think I'll try to put like an overlay video on this. And as you can see, like you can see literally the minute it happens, like my whole demeanor shifts. Like it's just like I'm sullen, and it's because like at the start of this year, I put a lot of pressure and like expectations on myself that 2026 was going to be like one of the most important, impactful years of my life. And a big part of that was being a really good competitive bodybuilder in order to facilitate all the other things I want to do. And literally, it felt like in that specific moment, as soon as it felt like my pec like was literally just came off the attachment point. And in that moment, it felt like bam, like everything was taken away, everything I wanted was gone, and I was so afraid I was gonna be one of those guys with like half a peck or anything like that. But we're grateful and thankful that it wasn't that bad and it's recovered very well. Like I can train my chest perfectly fine now, and I'm just about as strong as I was prior to. So we're grateful and in being able to overcome that kind of adversity. But yeah, so and funny enough, it's gonna be pushed today, and I'm gonna record it. So if I tear my pec, you guys get a nice little view of. I don't even know what I'm talking about. You guys get a nice little view of that. Also, I forgot to say the book I mentioned in the last video. I finished it now. Really enjoyed it, and I'm starting to read Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Nietzsche. Big shout to Dexter because he put me on. I asked him if he had any recommendations because I know he's like into philosophy and stuff, and he put me onto that. So you should check that out. I really enjoyed that Simone de Beauvoir book. She talks a lot about like purpose and like the value and meaning that you put into things in life. And there was an example she uses, and to make a long story short, she talks about how like it's down to the individual pursuing the goal, not the bystander, to like put value and meaning onto the tasks that we decide to like pursue. Because and that's very relatable with bodybuilding as well. Because anytime you go into a prep and you tell someone that doesn't really understand bodybuilding, they're kind of like, okay, what do you get from this? Like, what do you earn? And because from the outside view, it makes sense as to why they might view it that way. Because it's like the amount of time and effort you put in is disproportionate to like the 4 minutes you might spend on that stage in a little plastic trophy. But it's literally just down to the individual to make bodybuilding what they want it to be about. For some people, it's this whole like journey overcoming. Some people just want to look like a fucking sick cunt. So it's literally just, it's all down to the individual. And I found that really, really helpful. And there's a quote from her. I'm really bad at remembering quotes off the top of my dome, so I took a picture of it to share. So let me get the quote up. She goes, "A goal is always the meaning and the result of an effort. Separated from the effort, no reality is a goal, only a given made to be surpassed." And I found that to be really like helpful and like poignant to the point in time I'm at, especially with rehabbing off my pec. I felt like the effort that's gonna take to overcome, especially like mentally, to not be holding myself back and in doubt that I might have messed up everything, being able to now look back in like 12 weeks from now and be like, yeah, I did that. I managed to get on stage and God willing, I win and all this. Then it's like this goal is only made worthwhile through the effort that it took for me to surpass all of the doubts and all the fears and all the injury, etc. And especially with this injury, man, like for a while, I was in my mind like, yeah, this is making me the underdog. I got to come back. This is Rocky. Like, but gratefully, it was never really that bad. So, all right. So here is meal 2 and 3. Meal 2, 100 grams of rice pudding, 100 grams of bananas, 50 grams of berry with 35 grams of whey and some sea salt in there. And then for post-workout meal, 100 grams of low-fat cereal. I'm going for Frosted Flakes with 50 grams of berries. And then I got 45 grams of whey in here with 300 grams of almond milk. With each of these, I'm going to go in with half a serving of digestive enzymes as well. I'm going to eat this and go train. All right, so I haven't really been talking much this session, and I'm not really going to be, simply because it's like 12:30 and my gym's banned tripods for 1, so I kind of need to just get to training and filming if I'm gonna have to try and record this whole session. And the second reason being, these sessions are kind of like the most important in terms of like making sure I can be maintaining a certain level of progress, especially with my chest. So you kind of just like tunnel vision, kind of like living in the box kind of thing. And I forgot also wanted to say quickly though, is that with these logbooks, the ones I've been making, I ordered the sample for the first one 2 days ago,
And so it should be the first one should be coming soon. Which is pretty cool. Pretty happy with how it turned out. But gonna get into my set. I was on my way to my next movement. Look what the fuck it is. I got my put my stage shots up on the wall, past numbers and shit. That's sick. This is literally one of the things when I came to this gym. I love looking at the pictures of like Brian Buchanan up there. I said that in one of the other videos, but now I got my shit up there. That's it. That's sick.
I'm working on dying.
Hey, I went through a drought, so they really love me. I'm a bad bitch, I buy a pint of water, you hear me? Copy. Yo, hey, I went through a drought, so you really love me. I'm a bad bitch, a purse, so I buy a pint of water. I made an empire all by myself. I was legendary by the time I met guys. You bet my money with the cards I'm dealt. Love straight trucks, feel I'm beating everybody. Told them I'm New York, cause I'm in a bitty. 2016 ends in a big body. It's not money spent now, we just plan where to go. But I gotta find myself. Wanna give me all to you, but I gotta find myself. 2 perk 30s I melt. 5% feel like John Cena with the belt. Niggas ain't seeing me. Ho can get the Addy to a BNB. How you find trust when there's too many people? Risk your life for some niggas that leave. Bitch keep crying, say I'm MIA. I already know fool shit my way. But I gotta find myself. Risk your life for some luck and be replaced. Free band tune, who can put me in my place. I was paranoid, niggas just tryna race. Whole leg short, hit a whole red key. Only finesse you if you let me. Niggas ain't seeing me. Ho can get the Addy to a BNB. I gotta find myself. Wanna give me all you. I gotta find myself. 5% feel like John Cena with the belt. I went through a drought, so you really love me. I'm a bad bitch, a purse, so I buy a pint of water. I made an empire all by myself. I was legendary.
Alright, doing cardio. Just doing incline walk is my choice of cardio. I usually stick with doing this at the start prep until it gets a bit too hard. And I have to actually start like running and shit. Then I'll do a Stairmaster. Leon's got me doing 40 minutes 5 times a week. I'm hoping it's rage bait. Because last year, cardio only went up to like 4 times a week, 30 minutes. I'm just like, bro, I ain't no fat shit. I guess he was watching me eat all those cookies a couple weeks ago. And to punish me or some shit. But we're getting it done for now. No holding on. Now it gets, fuck it, yeah. Finished cardio. Got my post-workout meal packed with me. So here is meal 4 in all its glory. It's 100 grams pineapple, the rest of the pepper, 100 grams chicken breast, 60 grams basmati rice of the raw weight, and then 25 grams, 85% dark chocolate. So it's around 9 p.m. right now, and I got my final meal cooking on the stove. We are going in with 110 grams of 5% beef mince, 60 grams raw weight rice, 50 grams of spinach, alongside 2 eggs. And whilst that is cooking up, I just have 20 grams of almonds to just munch on. And that's the food I've eaten. I'm going to go on a walk to round off the last bits of my steps. I think today, yeah, so right now, it says 18K, but 3K of that was around cardio, so I take 3,000 off that off. So I'm on about 15 right now. I want to round off around 17K. So I'm going to eat this, go on a little bit of a walk, and then I just have a kiwi to eat. And that's the full day of eating done. So yeah, this is meal 5, nothing special. Like I said, 2 eggs, rice, spinach, mince. I also went in with some supplements, that being omega-3 fish oils and magnesium biglycinate, an hour to an hour and a half before I go to bed. And that's going to wrap it up for the day. I got another kiwi to eat. I'll film that with the outro. All right, so I finished my walk and I've got my kiwi here. I'm going to
eat this, and take my sleep supplements, turn the lights down, go to bed. But I figured I would talk about this that I didn't manage to get around to earlier in the video, and it kind of speaks to my why I want to do this show beyond just like what I was talking about earlier about like being a really good competitive bodybuilder being very important to like my setting up myself up for the future. I'm talking about this specific show, August 2nd. It's kind of been like ingrained in the back of my mind because this is something I say you shouldn't do if you're a first time competitor, but I've been paying very close attention to all the other competitors that I know are doing this show, and they are at such a high level that it just it excites me and gives me anxiety at the same time. Like I watch their content because I'm good friends with every single one of them, and everything I say is with love, like not talking shit. Like I love every one of them, but like I really want to kill these guys. I really want to get on stage and beat them, not out of this, not out of like to prove my superiority, but to test my sportsmanship. Like I've always been such a passionate like competitor growing up. Like I would cry on like sports days when I'd lose the race or whatever. And every time I'm on stage and like the moment when they call your name or they call your number, there's nothing like it. There's nothing that matches it. Like so every day when I wake up throughout this prep and not throughout this off season and going to be throughout this prep, I always ask myself, can I be the best bodybuilder in the world? Can I be better at the best bodybuilder in this show? And I'm thinking, obviously not to say they won't, because I love these guys, like don't get it twisted at all. But like I'm thinking to myself throughout the day, you know, they may skip their cardio, they may skip their meals, they may skip the session, they may whatever it is, but I know for damn sure I won't. And it fires me up. Like there's no like I theoretically could do another show that's like safer because like the fear of it, or I could be like, oh, you know, I'm gonna avoid the fear of humiliation or fear of whatever, and just do this closer show that's easier or whatever. But there's no challenge in that. There's no joy in that. There's no like adversity that's like really gonna push me towards like doing everything I can. And I live for that shit, man. And it reminds me of something I was talking to. I have a friend called TJ. TJ, if you're watching this, big up, big love. And he does like sports journalism, and we've done interviews literally since my first competitive season to now. Like it's super cool. And in the last one, he asked me a question. He was like, "What's your biggest takeaway from bodybuilding?" And like the traditional answer would always be like, "Oh, discipline and time management, or whatever." But like that's just like you kind of have to have that installed in you anyway to be like a kind of a good bodybuilder. But when I was doing some like self reflecting, for me, it's like being able to have this like faith in my own irrational ability to accomplish what I put myself to. You know, like everyone that gets on that stage, they work their fucking ass off for however many weeks. I worked my ass off for how many weeks. But the minute you set foot on that stage, the minute you touch that stage, it's out of your control. There's obviously things you can do in terms of your posing and stage presence, whatever. But the minute you touch that wood, touch that floor, whatever it is, it's in the judge's hands and it's out of your control. And you cannot let your belief in your inner self, you cannot let that waver at any point, because if you waver prior to you waver on stage, then it doesn't let you bring your best self on that stage. You know, you can't be confident. And that was definitely something that I did in my first prep. Like the phrase like, oh, the lights were too bright. Genuinely, this is something people don't talk about. Bodybuilding stages, the lights are bright as fuck. Like I literally couldn't see anything when I did my first competition, and I froze and I wavered. But I've developed this like, I don't want to say bravado, but this confidence and this belief in myself that I can do these things because I've been doing them and I've been defying the odds. I've been defying my own odds this entire time. And that's the biggest thing I've developed with bodybuilding. It's like, you know what? It's like, I can do this. I can do things. It can be me. And that's always something I've like struggled with, like believing that like I can be this person or I can be that. So like, it's always someone else, you know, it's meant to be them. Yeah, they deserve it because it was supposed to happen to them, never meant to happen to me, kind of thing. And just been able to try to countercourse that. Anyway, enough rambling. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like it. If you want to subscribe. If you want to share. Yeah, thank you for watching.